An essential part in the democratic process is to hear the voices of all community members. On this special election night, LMC-TV decided to talk to members of the village of Mamaroneck to hear what they want their new trustees to do for them.
We're doing environmental work, but we haven't created a long-term vision for where we want to be down the road in cleaning up our environment. And I think the board really needs to begin to do a long-term look at our problems and how to solve them, and not do just short-term fixes.
President of the Village of Mamaroneck, what I expect from our newly elected officials is to be more approachable, to be open and honest, deal with the residents and their concerns, listen to them with an open mind, and do what's best for the entire village. There has been many times where trustees have voted not with their conscience, but voted with small groups, and it has just deterred the process. I think that an open and honest government is important in any place, especially here in the village. There are many issues that need to be dealt with. We do live in a coastal environment. Flooding is a main concern. I believe that past officials have not dealt with this problem adequately, and I'm hoping that the new officials that will come in will be more open to it and deal with it more efficiently than it has been in the past.
I think from my perspective, the most important issue we're facing right now is this encouragement that we've got of development and increases in commercial activity, as well as the notion that we've been hearing that Mamaroneck should be a destination center for Westchester County. I think that this development and increase in commercial activity at all costs without thoughtful analysis or input is very dangerous. I think it's threatening the character of the community that we've got, the village being a coastal community with good residential areas, a good school system, an appropriate but not overbearing commercial center, and I think that all that is at risk with this movement. And I think that the new board is going to have to face this, and I really hope and encourage them to face this issue with thoughtful analysis and input on quality of life issues, character of the community, and environmental concerns relating to what would be massive amounts of development in a very, very flood-sensitive community.
I think both parties need to take action on people themselves. There's an emphasis on taxes and buildings and tennis courts and things that belong to the elite community, the physical aspects of the village. I think we need to spend a lot more time on the people, on all the people, especially the people that are set aside and that I call others, those that are living on the other side of the tracks.
What I expect is a change in demeanor, and hopefully whoever it is that is elected will stop bickering, fighting, and focus on the issues rather than the ego tripping and backbiting that's going on. This causes the issues to be put on the back burner and not handled in a timely manner. I think that there are many issues, such as tiered parking. We can get other bids so that we don't have a $500,000 deficit. The TOD needs to be passed. It's not going to cause more flooding, it'll end flooding. Also, the Army Corps of Engineers has a plan. It needs to be heard.
Community input is the most valuable commodity you can have. You may not always agree, and sometimes disagreement is really good because you get a better product at the end. But hearing everybody's views and having respect for everybody regardless of where they live or what side of an issue they want to take or how they want to address something is important. Treating people civilly, without bullying, without creating an atmosphere of adversity, of combativeness, is something that I think this village needs to do. And it starts at the board, and it starts actually with the mayor and how he runs the meetings, but it also has to do with the board and how the board interacts not only with each other, but with the public. You're there to do the public's business, not to do transactional business. You can do transactional business any day of the week. It's just out and out wrong. So my hope is that whoever is elected will start by trying to put friendly back into the village. It doesn't mean that everybody's going to agree on everything all the time. But if somebody has a question, they should be given an answer and not said, thank you, that's it.
The advice, or what I would expect from the trustees, would be to get all the information they possibly can to make sure that our laws are really well thought out, because they involved people, property, village assets, and a lot of different things community-wide. I would like to say that there are a lot of people in this community who are very willing to do some work to get some information to the Board of Trustees. There are a lot of people who have different backgrounds. And I think if we all work together and public comment turning into discussion could really make this village a shining star for the future.
At this point, I think the boards and commissions of the village are really the place where citizens step forward to work with the Board of Trustees. And I would like to see a strengthening of the Harbor Coastal Zone Management Commission with the Board of Trustees, so that anything in the village that touches water, and that's every single neighborhood, is brought to the commission, because they're the ones who really know where it fits into the law, the coastal zone law. On page 95, it talks about the Harbor Commission in charge of pollution and ecology in the harbor. And these are things that the village has not really taken that to the Harbor Commission, to have those people, not me, there are citizens out here too, I'm not on that commission, but I'm watching what the commission does and hoping that they will have the courage and the strength to really do the right thing. Anyone who's elected and sits in those seats of the Board of Trustees really needs to turn to the people who want to take the issues and run with them. That's what it's about. Those are the people who are going to make the changes that we need under the laws that exist, but in the state and in the federal government.
I expect trustees to vote in the best interest of all residents. What we have seen with the past board is trustees who vote to please certain people, and that's simply wrong. It's undemocratic. They should keep in mind that they were elected by the people, and they should vote for the people, not for special interests.
What I look for in prospective trustees are individuals with leadership abilities and qualities, as well as dedication to improving the quality of life in the village of Mamaroneck. Matters of Latino community, I personally was offended to hear one candidate make a comment about the employment or prospective need for that particular group or ethnic background in our community. And I think what is important is that when leaders come into a position of trust, that they begin, continue, and end their tenure without a predisposition of how a certain group should fit in a community or a society.
Some of the citizens we have spoken to today have stood up at this very podium to voice their opinion at several public hearings. Whether their views may or may not differ from elected officials, they stepped forward on behalf of their community and their input is essential for the existence of democracy in the village of Mamaroneck. For LMC-TV, on this special election night coverage, I'm Sheyla Navarro signing off.